Federal agents raided Golden Apple Buffet here in St. Peters off Mexico Road Tuesday.
At dawn in Missouri, federal agents stormed a dim sum restaurant, shocking both workers and diners. It looked like just another immigration raid, but what unfolded went far beyond kitchens and dining rooms. What ICE uncovered stretched from St. Peters, Missouri, to Los Angeles nightclubs, Houston warehouses, and even Beijing's shadow networks. From forged passports and underground banks to narcotics disguised as soy sauce shipments, the scale stunned even investigators. The question is, how deep can front businesses go before entire communities and national security are put at risk? Hi, before we continue, your one click on the subscribe button fuels all the effort behind this and every future video. The first scene unfolded at the Golden Apple Buffet in St. Peters, Missouri. As customers pulled into the parking lot for lunch, they were greeted not by a buffet line, but by federal agents in full operation mode. Homeland Security and ICE had identified the location as part of a wider network, and within minutes, the restaurant was shut down. But it didn't stop there. The same day, ICE stormed 2 suburban homes nearby, where neighbors later reported as many as 20 workers living inside, shuttled daily in vans to the restaurant. What agents discovered was not only a violation of immigration laws.
Federal agents had also stormed 2 suburban homes where neighbors reported about 20 people living inside.
The raids pulled back the curtain on a sophisticated network. Hidden beneath ordinary restaurant life were stacks of fraudulent identification documents, forged passports, and, in some cases, floorboards concealing narcotics packaged to look like everyday products. Soy sauce cartons were found stuffed with narcotics bricks, proof that what seemed like an innocent supply chain was being used as a cover for smuggling. The crackdown quickly earned its name, Operation Silent Dragon. It was not an isolated case, but a coordinated national campaign. Online, footage surfaced of undercover agents pinning a man against a Chinatown wall in California. At first glance, it appeared brutal, but officials later clarified that this was part of a targeted operation against individuals tied to forged IDs and visa overstays. Homeland Security confirmed that these raids were based on intelligence linking individuals to falsified visas and narcotic supply chains. Reports revealed that many of the agents were undercover, operating without uniforms and with covered faces. This was a deliberate tactic. For years, federal authorities, including ICE and the FBI, had tracked Chinese and Mexican organized crime groups, monitoring fake ID pipelines, visa fraud, and money laundering routes. These criminal networks had long exploited U.S. communities, but under Operation Silent Dragon, enforcement actions were now coming to light at a new scale. The investigation traced the system's sophistication. Some forged documents were so advanced that they slipped through DMV systems and even banks. It was not a matter of 1 or 2 undocumented workers. It was a system enabling large-scale illegal employment, human smuggling, and financial laundering. ICE officials explained that the operations functioned like a shadow DMV, issuing fake IDs and passports that fueled the underground economy. The Golden Apple Buffet raid highlighted this hidden machinery. Property records showed that the raided houses were tied to LLC, owned by Chinese nationals. These were not random addresses. They were structured parts of a business network designed to keep operations running. Neighbors had long noticed vans transporting groups of workers back and forth, but few imagined the homes were part of a larger smuggling and fraud scheme. And this wasn't only Missouri. The network stretched nationwide. Karaoke bars, massage parlors, and unlicensed nightclubs in Los Angeles were raided, leading to the arrest of 36 Chinese and Taiwanese nationals. ICE confirmed these venues weren't simply nightlife spots.
New at 11, a Homeland Security investigation bust in Los Angeles. According to a post on X, 36 Chinese and Taiwanese nationals were arrested for being illegally present in the United States. Video shows them here detained, handcuffed, and being loaded onto vans. No word on the exact location. According to the Post, the arrests were made during an enforcement operation in an underground nightclub with the cooperation of various federal agencies.
They were linked to trafficking routes moving through Mexico, with profits laundered through underground banks. Investigators revealed that these shadow banks were transferring hundreds of millions of dollars each month, charging small fees while funneling money back to overseas syndicates. This showed the true depth of the problem. A Missouri dim sum buffet wasn't just a restaurant. It was potentially part of a financial pipeline tied to clubs in L.A., construction sites in New York, and warehouses in Houston. The DEA warned that Chinese and Mexican drug organizations were increasingly dominating illegal narcotics markets, using these networks to conceal their operations. The investigation also shed light on the human side. Many workers found inside these homes and restaurants were earning cash wages far below minimum pay. They were trapped in cycles of debt owed to the same brokers who smuggled them into the country. ICE clarified that the real targets of these raids were not vulnerable workers, but the smugglers, traffickers, and organizers profiting from them. One of the most shocking discoveries came when ICE agents lifted floorboards in another restaurant and found narcotics bricks concealed beneath tiles. Officials confirmed that Chinese restaurants were being exploited as stash houses. Importantly, authorities stressed that this did not implicate every Chinese restaurant or every worker, but specific establishments tied to organized crime rings. The seriousness escalated when federal prosecutors linked some cases to national security concerns. Investigators uncovered communications and cash flows tied to Chinese intelligence networks. What began as an immigration and narcotics investigation shifted into a counterintelligence concern. In one case, 2 Chinese nationals were indicted for attempting to smuggle radiation-hardened microcrystals, materials used in satellites and defense technologies. Another case in August revealed attempts to export sensitive microchips used in artificial intelligence applications. Suddenly, the raids were about more than immigration violations. They were about protecting American technology and security. At the same time, other cases highlighted theft of U.S. medical data and trade secrets. By 2024, reports had already surfaced of secret police stations operating inside U.S. cities, further raising alarm. These revelations shook Chinese communities nationwide. Restaurants and markets in Los Angeles reported revenue losses of up to 50% in 2025. Customers avoided areas associated with raids, fearful of being caught in enforcement actions. Meanwhile, ICE stepped up deportation flights. In Dallas, officials confirmed the removal of 122 individuals, described as high risk, including people convicted of murder, trafficking, and smuggling. These images of detainees boarding charter flights to Beijing spread quickly online, sending shockwaves through communities. While Beijing criticized the actions as discriminatory, U.S. prosecutors defended them as necessary for national security. The indictments continued. In June 2025, 7 Chinese nationals were indicted in Massachusetts for laundering over 90 million yen annually.
A group of Chinese nationals arrested, now accused of running a multi-million-dollar money laundering and drug operation while using illegal aliens they smuggled in from the southern border. Let's take you live to Boston, Massachusetts tonight, where the FBI now says these guys exploited America's immigration system, turning quiet suburban homes across the Northeast into their personal hubs for a criminal enterprise. So here's how it all allegedly worked. According to the feds, they say they smuggled illegal immigrants in from China up across the U.S.-Mexico border, then forced them to work in marijuana grow houses without access to their passports, all until they repaid their smuggling debts. Now, 6 suspects arrested just this week, but a 7th man, 47-year-old Yurong Zhu of Greenfield, Massachusetts, remains on the run tonight.
Federal officials emphasized that these cases weren't isolated. They were part of an interconnected system, blending visa fraud, narcotics trafficking, and financial crimes. Through it all, ICE, the DEA, and the FBI coordinated closely, showing how immigration enforcement and organized crime investigations often overlap. The Missouri raid was a reminder that front businesses could be hiding complex operations beneath everyday appearances. For the agents on the ground, each raid was about dismantling dangerous networks while protecting American communities. By late 2025, the central question remained, was this simply border enforcement, or was it a larger battle against organized crime and foreign interference? The raids were effective at disrupting criminal activity, but they also carried ripple effects, leaving communities anxious. For investigators, though, the message was clear. These were necessary actions to uphold law and order. With narcotics hidden under restaurant floors and foreign networks using everyday storefronts as cover, do you believe raids like Operation Silent Dragon are essential for protecting national security? Or should law enforcement adapt even further to meet evolving threats?